stop comparing your life to others. Stop going
Oh
on Instagram and like,
God.
oh, she has such a beautiful, I look at her traveling and taking all these beautiful pictures, and oh, my neighbor, his grass is greener than mine. What is he doing? Like, stop, just stop. Girl,
He's
stop.
probably not living life like you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And maybe they're at stage 9 and you're at stage 2 of your development. You never know. Same thing when people come to practice yoga at Pulchati, I always tell them, stop looking at what the other person is doing. If you're a beginner, there's no way that you're going to get into a headstand in
Mm-hmm.
yoga. It's, first
Yeah.
of all, it's unsafe, it's dangerous, and you don't know how long they've been practicing. Maybe they've been practicing 40 years of their life, and it
Yeah.
took them 40 years to accomplish this pose, and you're just starting. But, like, comparison is the thief of joy. Hello, welcome to Chai with Us podcast. This is episode 11. I don't have enough fingers to hold him up because it's 11.
I got you.
So today we're going to talk about abundance and money and many other things. And Erica's going to tell us about what tea we're drinking.
Yeah. Do you want to tell people who you are?
Oh, that's right. See, this is what happens when we switch roles. I am Ivana from okoloizabells, and
And I am Erika, the personal developer. So we always drink a cup of tea while we have a conversation about whatever we want. And today I am drinking like 9 herbs tea. It has a lot of
okay,
herbs. That's all I know about this tea. It's delish. What are you drinking?
yes. Rose hip tea, and today's message on my little tea bag said, make it, drink it, love it.
Whoa, love it. Okay, cheers to that.
Cheers.
All right. So today we're going to talk about abundance. Uh, it's a topic that I've been struggling a lot, like to even grasp the concept. I have been
Mm-hmm.
struggling a lot. Now I kind of think that I understand, but I still have some difficulties when it comes to receiving abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people struggle with that as well. So,
Yeah,
why don't we start by defining abundance?
sure. So what is I guess for me, abundance means being healthy, having enough money to live, being full of life and love, and having good friends, like having good relationships with people, just living your life to like 100% of yourself. Like if you have everything at 100%, that to me means you're abundant in love, abundant in friendships, abundant in money, abundant at your work. Like everything is like all the different areas of your life are going well. That's what abundance means to me.
Oh,
What
that's
about
so
you?
interesting. Okay, so I thought that abundance was money. I was like, okay, abundant people have a lot of money. Now I
Well, sometimes
understand.
they do.
No, and most of the times they do because they have everything, like you said. Now I understand that abundance is a different thing. Abundance is like basically a flow of a non-stopping source of things like
Yes, of
love,
energy. Mm-hmm.
energy, money, good relationships. So every time we talk about abundance, it's just this thing that never ends. It
Yes, and
never ends.
I think also the reason that maybe some people have a problem, like you said, about receiving abundance is because societally we've been in our masculine energy, right? Like always about doing, like you job in order to get money. You have to do this to get money. You have to do this to get love. Instead of being in our feminine energy, which is more about receiving. And I think
Mhm.
that's starting to change now that people are becoming more aware about, what is masculine energy and what is feminine energy. And it doesn't mean that if you're a woman, you have feminine energy. It just like both sexes have the same type of energy. You have masculine and feminine energy. It just you
Mhm.
could be operate like I know that I operate so much more in my masculine energy just because that's how I was raised, and I always living in the US in this capitalistic society, it's about like working at the job to get the money to have your dream house. So it's all about doing, doing, doing and going instead of just sitting back and waiting and letting go. I think that's what I struggle with is letting go and believing that something will take care of me. What about you?
Yeah, I struggle with that as well, but something just clicked when you said, when you were talking, like we have pretty much been doing half of the job.
Exactly.
Because the path to abundance is, yes, I act on it, yes, I do my work, yes, I struggle, or whatever you want to do to get what you want to get, but then I have to let go. I have to
Yes.
trust. It's just when you try, like when you try to manifest something, you have to let go. And for me, it's so difficult, like, to not having control of things.
Exactly.
I like to know what's happening all the time. I really
Yes.
love. I love to know what's happening. I love to know that I have control on what's
Control.
happening, that I can do something about it. And I have learned throughout the time that it's not my responsibility. There is,
Yes.
I do my part, and then the universe does the rest. And
Exactly.
once I figured it out, I could improve my relationship with money, even though I still have a long way to go.
Do you think that you change your perspective because you're on this like yoga journey? Like you started meditating now, you have your silent days, you're more in tune with the universe as opposed to before? Like before, I
Yeah.
think sometimes the reason people like want to control everything is that they don't have control on the inside. So they try to control everything around them.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is that the spiritual path and the personal growth work that I've been doing pretty much opened my mind, just like for so many things. And a lot of people that I admire have been talking about abundance and attracting money. And these were concepts that I didn't know that it existed, the only thing I knew about money is that it comes and goes, uh, the root of all evil, this kind of stuff that
Yes.
blocks us. So while I was doing my personal development work, I realized that I have a lot of blockages when it comes to money, and that my
Do you think that has
relationship
to
is,
do with, well, sorry to cut you off. Do you think that has to do with like what you think about what money is?
sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I know that it has to do, because when I think in a different way, when I let go, when I say I'm going to do my best and then the money will come, it comes. When I am like stressed out, I don't know if I should spend this, if I, it feels like lacking, and it doesn't matter
Yes,
how much money I have, because I was feeling abundant with less money than I have now. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You can feel abundant with little money. And that's one concept that I didn't grasp, because I like abundance. You have to have a lot, a lot, a lot. No, you have to feel whole, complete, and capable of. Yes,
Yeah, I
exactly.
think the reason that I think about what money is has to do with what I thought about when I was a child and how I saw my parents spending money and what their beliefs were around money.
Mhm.
So, I talked a lot about this, but I grew up in Yugoslavia and they had a civil war in 92. So we had a lot of money when I was a child. And then because of the war, we lost our house, we lost all our belongings, and then we had lack. And I just remember, like, as a child, like going into a store and I wanted my mom to buy me this Barbie that was like $20, and she didn't. She couldn't afford it to buy it for me. And
Mhm.
so I just have this, or I used to have this belief that we were always lacking. Like we would always like struggle to have money, and we would always wear other people's clothing. Like we didn't have enough money to buy our own clothing. We didn't, we were just living like on social welfare and barely making ends meet. And so that's
Mhm.
how I developed this idea that money is bad, which it's not. Money is just a piece of paper. It's an energy exchange.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Yeah.
But
And
so
it's
much goes back to how we were socialized on what money is.
exactly. And it's just another thing we have in the universe. It's just another thing that is available for everyone. And that's one thing that once we understand that, like really grasp the concept, we are going to change our relationship with money. And absolutely, if you want to start working on your abundance flow, or your relationship with abundance and with money, first thing to do is just write down what you think about money. If you want to
Exactly.
improve your life, in any area, this goes for every area, just write down the area of your life and try to think about what you have learned when you were a child. That will
Yes.
tell you why you are where you are, and why you believe what you believe, and why your actions go against what you think you should be doing. It has been proven, like, when you are not used to deal with money, when you have a bad relationship with money, it doesn't matter how much you have, you're gonna you're gonna repeat the patterns that you have been repeating,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know other way to function.
So let me ask you, do you think people can heal their thoughts on money on their own, or do you think that they need help doing this? Is this something that you can do yourself?
It depends on the person. It depends
Mm-hmm.
on the person. I mean, I think that self-healing is a real thing, but then if you want to go faster, or if you think you need some help and you need some guidance, there are a lot of therapists, coaches over there that can help you there, and that can give you this insight that was missing. I
Mm-hmm.
really think it depends on the person. You should
Mm-hmm.
check in, and you should. The only thing I can talk about is from a personal developer
Mm-hmm.
perspective, where there's a lot of
Correct.
exercises that you can do and work on that. But of course, if that's not enough, dude, just go get help somewhere
Yes,
else,
I
because
agree.
I know that the exercises are freaking powerful. They are
Mm-hmm.
freaking powerful because they help us break patterns. And I
Yes.
also know that you have to be freaking patient. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen, oh, tomorrow you feel abundant. It's, well, I wish you that. I wish
Mm-hmm.
all of us that, but we also have to be patient, because I mean, I am 33 years old, almost 34.
I was about to say, like, what? I know your
Almost
birthday's
34.
coming up.
It's my birthday on Monday. It's my birthday. Abundance. Okay. So I forgot. I forgot. Where was I?
You were talking about this spiritual practice of how to learn how to be abundant is going to take practice, and
Yeah,
you have to be patient with it, like anything else.
exactly. You're not gonna magically become like this abundant person. If it happens, I'm glad. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So let's say that for 20 years of my life, I have had a very bad impression of
Mhm.
money. Like, I
Mhm.
hate money. I don't know how to keep money. Like, it's a behavior that I have been having for 20 years, and now I
Okay.
want to change it in a week.
Mhm.
Maybe personal development is a way of you. Maybe spirituality is your way, but you just have
Mhm.
to be patient.
Absolutely, I agree with that. And just everything that you mentioned, I think a lot of people don't even think about this. They don't think about that money is just a tool. All they know is that they have to go to work to earn the money so that they can pay their mortgage, they can pay their bills, and have food on the table.
Yeah,
Like, to them, it doesn't occur that the food is going to come from somewhere else. When I
yeah.
was in India and I was traveling, people would always give me a banana on the train. And that was like the universe's way of showing me that you're not going to go hungry. Like, there's always people that are going to help you and feed you and have you feeling safe. Um,
You know what? I think we have been indoctrinated to work, get the job,
yes.
work, uh, go home, and then buy stuff, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. But we don't have to go through this path. There's another
Right.
way of doing things. We can live with less money. We can
Mm-hmm.
have more money. Like, everything, anything is possible in this world. And once we realize that anything is possible, we understand that, you know what, I don't have to live like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can transition into a different life. You know,
Yes.
I have been in situations where I had zero, zero, and I was
Mm-hmm.
walking, and I was like, universe, come on. I really, I really want this to work. I don't want to go back to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay here in Tenerife. Come on, help me out. And I find money.
Mm-hmm. On
And
the street, or
then on the street, yes. And then it happened to me, like, once I was looking for a job. I was so desperate. Okay, to give you a little bit of
background.
a background. So I moved to the Canary Islands with an ex-boyfriend of mine. Then we broke up, and I was like broke and broke. You know what I mean? I had no money. I was broken inside. It was like, oh, I was all broken all over the place. Oh, little Erika, like. So I got to this point where I really needed money and I really needed a job, because otherwise, what would happen? And in crisis, we always go, oh God, oh universe. That's what happens when we're in crisis, yeah? When we're
Yes.
not in crisis, we're like, whatever. Some of
Then
us,
we're good.
I now I have a better relationship with the universe. So I don't do that anymore. I'm like, thank you, universe. And then when I'm down, I'm
Yeah.
like, universe, please help. So the story is that I was looking for a job, and then I was like, universe, come on, I need this sign. What is this? I don't want to go back to Portugal. I want to get out of this on my own, and etc. So I found money, and I also found a card. Yeah, I tell you the other episode, I think, about I always find cards.
Oh, yes.
So I found like a jack of spades. I don't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I went using to look for the meaning, and it was like brunette men will help you. Ta-da-da.
Okay.
So they called me for an interview, and it was like a brunette man. And I was like, listen, this is too far away. And they were like, I give you an advance so you can pay your apartment and come work for us. I found an apartment close to the place I was going to work on. Like the beach was just right there. And the universe provided.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We are so scared of going to this limit, to being at the limit, because it's scary. It's freaking scary.
It is scary.
But
Yes.
it's necessary sometimes to change, right? And to evolve. Have you been in
Sometimes
the limit?
when you're in that, like I remember when I was changing jobs and I would just quit my job because I couldn't work for the woman anymore. She was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And for 3 months I didn't have a job. And so when you're like in this, like, am I ever gonna get a job? How am I gonna pay my bills? You're in this like low vibration because you don't believe, but you will always find a job. It just takes time and
Yeah.
patience.
Yeah.
But it's so hard, I think, when you're at your lowest to have positive thoughts, and that's exactly what you need to do.
Yes.
But can you give us more advice on like how can a person continue to be positive in hard times?
I think that affirmations are a good one for this. Like, just write down what you want. When I was really low, like, I had a list of my goals, and I used to read the list every day, and that would give me motivation. You know what? There's another day. I'm gonna look again for another job. I need to get out of this house. So I would think that writing down exactly what you want. It doesn't matter where you are right now. Life changes, and you know what? Look back 10 years ago.
Yes.
Where were you? I mean, look back 2 years ago. Where were you? Like, life is changing constantly. So wherever you are right now, it's not where you're going to be. Things are not forever. I don't need to tell you this. You just go and observe your life. Things change. So thinking about things that you have overcome in the past,
Yes.
writing down your goals. You can watch our episode on goals. Sit down, write down your goals, go after them. Focus on what you can do today.
Right.
I mean, you don't need to go to the university. Maybe you can start studying now and do some training. You can have trainings online now for $20. And if you cannot get them, you can do them for free. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. And just figure out what you want and use affirmations. Meditate on abundance. There are a lot of beautiful meditations online from Deepak Chopra, from David G. Hello, this is David G. I love him so much. From the sweet spot of the universe. I love him.
I've never heard of him, but I'll have to look him up.
Oh, come on, he's the best. David G, if you're watching this, you're probably not watching this, but I don't care. I love you so much. It's and meditate on that so you can calm down. The thing, like, you may feel very stressed, but if you sit down and meditate, you are going to clear your head, and you're going to think straight, and you're going to have new ideas. And you
Yes.
know what? If you have no job, be creative. Is there something that you can teach? Is there
Mhm.
something that you always wanted to do, but you never had the time?
Mhm.
And last thing I'm going to say from now, see crisis as an opportunity. Don't
Yes.
see crisis as crisis, you are
Mhm.
effed. No, you're not effed.
Mhm.
Crisis is an opportunity for you to
Mhm.
do what you really want to do. Is the
I
universe
agree.
like destroying what you had? Because
Mhm.
if you want something new, that relationship had to go so you can have a new
Mhm.
one. If you want more money, that job that paid you little had to go. If you want people to treat you better and to be happy, those people, they don't serve you. They had to go. So it's an
Mhm.
opportunity for you
I agree.
to actually do something. Use it.
Mhm. A lot of times when we're in crisis, the aftermath is so much better, and it
Oh God.
completely like puts us into a whole new path on our life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have a story like where you were in crisis and then?
Yes, actually, I have a beautiful story. The story is that I came to visit you in the Canary Islands, and then I went to France to see a friend. And after France, I was going to fly from Marseille to Barcelona and then back to Serbia to be with my family. And when I was in Barcelona, my flight was really late, and then I was flying Vueling Air, and they kept delaying it by an hour, another hour, and I was distressed because my uncle had to drive to the border, so he has to drive an hour and a half to come pick me up. So I have to tell him, "Hey, we're coming." And every hour I was calling him and saying, "Look, it's canceled, it's moved, it's moved." And then they finally canceled the flight and said it's going to happen the next day at 8:30, and they all put us up in a hotel. By the time we got to the hotel, it was like 3 in the morning. We had to leave at 6 in the morning, and so I and a bunch of other people decided that we were going to have breakfast, and then we were going to go to the airport, and we would still have enough time to make our 8:30 flight.
Hmm.
So I'm there with a couple of people that I met, and we arrived there, and guess what? Our plane has left because overnight they changed the time to 7:30. So all the people that stayed behind in the hotel to have breakfast did not make the flight. There was like 25 of us that did not make the flight. And so now all of us had to be put on new flights, and they so we sat there from 7:30 when we arrived at the airport, 8 o'clock, to about 12:30 until they figured out like what to do with us. And they like were saying that it was our fault, which was not our fault. Like I remember the woman saying,
Come
"Come to the
on.
airport at 8:30." So they did never called our hotel to tell us the time was changed, and it was awful. Like I was just thinking, like, what am I gonna do now? The next flight, this happened Sunday night, right? So it's Monday morning. The next flight out was Tuesday night. So I was in distress. Everyone was so upset. We hadn't eaten. They didn't give us any coupons to get drinks. There was like 25 of us just sitting there on the floor waiting, like upset and angry and sad. And then they put us up in a five-star hotel. They paid for 2 days. The hotel had like two pools. They comped all our food and a ride back to the hotel for Tuesday night. And the best part,
Wow.
I got $450 on top of all that.
Woo! You see?
Talk about abundance. That's a story of abundance.
Yes.
But we had to
Yes.
go through, you know what I mean? Like we had to go through like constantly time changing, going to the hotel, missing the flight, sitting there not knowing when we're gonna get not knowing that they're gonna even give us a hotel, like just being miserable. And then all of a sudden I'm in this amazing hotel with two pools. They're paying for all the meals. And, like because we were delayed, there's a European law that says that they have to give you money depending
Mm-hmm.
on how far distance that you travel. And
Yes.
it was exactly $450. And that's how you like the money. It's not money I earned, okay? It's money that just came from me from the universe as like, here is like something to like sweeten all the crises that you went through. But that's what you talked about. Like sometimes you have to go through the crisis
Yes.
and you don't even realize like what's happening. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like you're so focused on like, oh, this sucks. I hate my life. Why is this
Yes.
happening to us? I'm
Mm-hmm.
so late. Like I mean, my family has to wait on me. We're just focused on a negative. And then this beautiful thing is trying to like come into your life. You just have to be open.
Exactly, exactly. There is always a reason. And one thing is that sometimes we ask for things, but we don't realize that in order to have these things, something has to happen. And
Yes.
sometimes that thing is losing that job or losing that
Mm-hmm.
person, losing the flight. You
Yes.
lost the flight, but there you go. You received money and you needed that money. So yeah, universe works in mysterious ways. That's how
You're
they work.
right. Because when I ended up in the hospital in India, everything that I paid for was exactly $450. So my hospital bill was covered before I ever even knew it. Like see
Good.
the universe knows your path. It's just that you're walking on it and you can't see the path. So you have to trust. You have to keep walking. Even in times when it's like pitch dark, you have to walk and have trust that the path is going to lead you to where you're supposed to be because you're never on the wrong path. Everything that you're on, you're always on the right path. You just have
I
to trust.
love it. The path is going to lead you to where you are supposed to be.
Exactly.
I love
You're
it.
at all times exactly where you're supposed to be. It just might not look like that to you because you're looking at it from your perspective and not from the universe's perspective.
Amen. Jeez, I totally agree with you. And that's it. And we love to experience good things in life, but in order to grow, I'm sorry that some things are going to happen and they're not going to be good. Growing means discomfort.
Yes,
It's not
exactly.
possible to grow like, I would love to grow and all be so light and, but
There's that quote that, it says that like a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, but it's because the caterpillar had courage enough for its own destruction to move into
yes.
something so beautiful.
Oh my God, you're you're killing it today, Ivana. You're killing it. I'm loving it. That's so cool. You know what? What you said again reminded me of something. If you want to be abundant, you have to be grateful.
Yes, absolutely. That's something I wanted to mention when you were talking about how you have to do your affirmations.
Yeah.
Start also by being grateful and for very simple things like, I'm so grateful I can move my fingers. I'm grateful I can see. I'm grateful I can swallow food. I'm
Mhm.
grateful I can walk. Those are things that we take, for granted. But
Yeah.
sometimes people, like a lot of people can't do those things. And we don't
Yeah.
realize how blessed we really already are.
Exactly. And there is always something that you can be grateful for. There's always something. And for you, I mean, being grateful is already cool because it gives you that state of mind of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to have different vibes and you
Mm-hmm.
start to ask, you want the universe to bring you money, but then the entire day you're like,
Be
I'm
willing
like
to sit
this.
at the airport for 5 hours
Yeah, be
in
happy.
distress.
No, I'm not joking. Have feelings. Having
It's
feeling is
true.
okay, but
Yes.
then when you go to this five-star hotel and they give you $450, celebrate it like
Oh, I
crazy and
did. I did my dance in my
appreciate
hotel
it.
room.
Yeah, don't sit down like but no, just
Exactly.
appreciate it because
Yes.
otherwise you're never gonna be happy. I mean,
It's so
we
true.
have to celebrate the good stuff because when
Hmm.
we are in deep, then we are not celebrating, right? So let's
Yes.
have these moments and celebrate these moments. And gratitude is a beautiful practice for everything.
Yeah,
And it was through gratitude, I think, that I started to change my relationship with money
I agree.
because I had a very bad energy when I was paying for stuff. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I was feeling nervous. I was
Yes.
like, I have to give this, and it was this kind. That's not the energy I want to put out
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
I want to have this energy of yes, thank you, universe. Like you said
Yes. Yes.
in the last episode, you said arigato, right?
Arigato. Yes. I was
Arigato,
just
and
about
like
to mention that.
yeah,
Say
just say
arigato when you're paying for things and arigato when it's coming to you.
thank you, universe. The other day I went to the supermarket and I spent like 90 euros. Yeah,
€90. Okay.
90 euros. And I was like, oh my God, you're so stupid. And I'm like, no, thank you, universe. I can. It's not that after that I have no money. I get to do this. I get
Hmm.
to spend 90 euros. I get to go there and choose the best things the supermarket have and eat
Hmm.
the best things the supermarket and buy this freaking cream that doesn't serve like I get to do this. We have to swap this and start saying
Hmm.
thank you. Like, thank you. I can pay this. This is
Yes,
so
exactly.
how cool is it that I get to do
Hmm.
this? And this
Mm-hmm.
is a very good advice for fear as well. If you are scared for something, if you have like an interview, or if you are doing something that scares you, just think about how lucky you are that you get to do stuff that
Exactly.
changes something, because we have a
Mm-hmm.
different a weird
There's a thin
concept of
line between
fear.
fear and excitement, is what I would
Exact.
say.
Our brain doesn't know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're just excited because how cool is this? And your brain's
Right.
like,
It's true.
sometimes it's excitement. So it's not fear, it's excitement is a good mantra as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd like to read a quote from Abraham Hicks, if that's okay.
Please. Oh my
Um,
God, the glasses.
yes. I'm smart, so I'm gonna
You
read the
are
quote.
such a pro. You're like, oh, let me just read something from Google. Yes, okay.
She says, there is no better way to earn money than to do the things that you love to do. Money can flow into your experience through endless avenues. It is not the choice of the craft that limits the money that flows, but only your attitude towards money.
Yes, amen
So I
to
think
that.
she beautifully said everything that we've talked about. It's your
Yeah.
attitude towards money. And once you start adopting the things that we talk about, gratefulness, positive affirmations, arigato, I love it. Like I think it totally works for me. You
Mm-hmm.
start to see how you start to develop a different relationship with money. And I would also say that the real currency is actually relationships, it's not money. Like the real currency of life is the
Yeah.
relationships you have with people in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want tons of money, don't feel bad. It's okay. Sometimes we have this feeling that we are spiritual people don't have a lot of money. I've heard that spiritual people shouldn't uh, ask for money for their services, but I mean, if you don't ask for money, then you have to work, you have to work twice, you have to have
Mhm.
two jobs in order to do what you love. Like,
Mhm.
is that fair? So don't be scared to wish for money, or anything you wish. If you aren't doing any harm, I mean, that's fine. It's
Exactly.
okay to want. You can still be a good person.
Yes.
uh and I sound very like, I don't know, if I hear myself a few years ago, I would be like, of course. But unconsciously, this is
Mhm.
so deep in our
Mhm.
subconscious mind that, like, just try it, like we said, try to write down all of your beliefs around
Yes.
money.
Mhm.
Don't filter it, just sit down and write money, see what comes out from your
Mhm.
childhood, and you will see that most of us think like that, and it's
Yes.
scary. So don't feel bad if you want money. Money is good. Money is another energy, and
I
you
agree.
deserve
And I
money.
think also like as women sometimes we're afraid to ask for a raise. Don't be afraid. Like
Yeah.
you provide value to your work, and if you know that like you deserve a raise, go in the office and ask for one. I think sometimes like especially as like lawyers we're like, "Oh, I cut my time. I shouldn't have taken this long. I shouldn't like be asking for this." No, like you bring value to the company that you're working for, and when you know and you've done a good job on your reviews, you need to go into the office and ask for more money because you should be paid what you're worth.
Yeah. And you actually told me one thing one day. You
What
said
was that?
something like, stop working for free. Because I'm like, I'm gonna charge for this. I am like, of course, damn, I am charging for this. Damn, like so much money I have spent throughout the years to learn to be
Mhm.
better, and to be
Mhm.
here sitting down and say, listen, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, I can give you that advice. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I can help you
Mhm.
change your life. And like, why
Yes,
wouldn't you charge for that? That was really good you
exactly.
told me that, because I was like, I charge for some things, and then for other things I'm like, no, I should charge for if I am working. If it
Exactly.
takes
Charge for your
me,
time.
yeah, if it takes me 2 hours of my time, if I have to walk towards you, if
Mhm.
if I'm teaching something that I have paid to learn,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not paid, not only money, but hours
Exactly.
of my life.
Yes, that's a
Like,
very good point. As a lawyer, we have to bill like point 0.6 minutes for this, point 0.18 minutes for this, you know? And that's
yeah.
when I realized that the only thing that is valuable is your time. Like your time is so because you're never going to get this time back. Like this hour that we spent talking to the podcast, that's already gone. So
Hmm.
we won't get that time back and we deserve to be compensated for your time. So that's why it's
Yes.
important to start charging people when you're providing a service for them.
Yes. Totally. And then, I mean, give back, of course,
Yes,
do volunteer work. This is important, but don't be scared to ask for money because, I mean, if you don't have a degree or whatever, just think about how many hours did you spend studying what you are teaching people? How
exactly.
many hours of your life?
How many
Like,
books have you read?
how many books? How
Mm-hmm.
many extra
Workshop.
official trainings, workshops
Mm-hmm.
have you done? You
Exactly.
know, I mean, we need to start thinking about this because I needed to have this conversation with myself, and you actually helped me out with that because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what the hell am I doing? Like, when am I going to live the life of my dreams if I am not actually charging for the services? I'm going to
Exactly.
be, I will never work on what I love if I don't charge.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes people like don't value the services provided by therapists or life coaches or
Mm-hmm.
psychologists. But when you change that, I think they should be
Dude.
given a lot of money because they've helped you change your mindset. They've helped you get out of like this rut that you're in. So they deserve to
Yes.
be compensated for this help.
Absolutely. I mean, like a doctor saves your life,
Exactly.
psychology, a psychologist, a therapist, or like they
Mm-hmm.
save your life as well. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Coaches sometimes save your life, you know? And so yeah.
Whenever we were late as lawyers, some I would say, we're not doctors. No one is going to die if we show up 5 minutes late. Like, calm down, everybody. No one is dying when we're five
Ah,
minutes late
no one's gonna die.
because lawyers are always late, like we are. Like, I think universal all across the world, we are, whatever our profession is, we're late to everything. I don't know why, but we just are.
Because you're busy. Lawyers always have this busy thing. Not always, sorry.
It's true.
Massive
Yeah.
generalization over here. I'm so sorry.
That's
Lawyers,
a stereotype. It's
I
okay.
love you. That's a stereotype. Yeah, we all have stereotypes.
We do, and that's something I'd also like to say, which is totally off topic, but stereotypes are not bad. It's just the generalization of something of a profession. It's just that most of the time, sometimes the generalizations have a bad name or like,
Yeah,
quality. But we need stereotypes sometimes to help us because we're overloaded with information every day. You know what
hmm
I mean? So like they
yeah,
help us process information.
yeah. We need to put things in a box in order to function because otherwise, it's just too
We will be
exhausting.
overloaded.
Exhausting. Every time you meet someone, it's lawyers who do this, I do
And I
that.
think to also live an abundant life, stop comparing your life to others. Stop going
Oh
on Instagram and like,
God.
oh, she has such a beautiful life. Look at her traveling and taking all these beautiful pictures. And oh, my neighbor, his grass is greener than mine. What is he doing? Like, stop. Just stop. Girl,
He's
stop.
probably not living life like you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
And maybe they're at stage 9 and you're at stage 2 of your development. You never know. Same thing when people come to practice yoga at Pulchati, I always tell them, stop looking at what the other person is doing. If you're a beginner, there's no way that you're going to get into a headstand in
Mm-hmm.
yoga. First of
Yeah,
all, it's unsafe, it's dangerous, and you don't know how long they've been practicing. Maybe they've been practicing 40 years of their life and it
yeah.
took them 40 years to accomplish this pose and you're just starting. But like comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know where I heard that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so
But
true.
it's
Like,
true. But it's true. You have to compare yourself to yourself.
exactly.
Look at where you are
To your
and where
old
you
self, like where
were.
did you said that so beautifully. You're like, where
Where
did
do
you
you want
come
to be?
from? What
Exactly.
have you been doing?
Exactly. That's where you should be looking at and what makes you happy, right? Because if you are
Exactly.
buying a bunch of stuff just to appear, just to look like you're whatever you're
To fill
trying
a
to,
void.
yeah, yeah, that's not going to work. So, and and like abundance is something I think that we have to understand this that the universe is like an infinite source. So if I have something that doesn't take from you, because there are a lot of movements going on, and so many intolerant people. It's a crazy world right now,
Mhm.
isn't it?
Mhm.
It's a really crazy world. It looks like we digress, and I think that if we only understood that there is enough for everybody,
Mhm. Mhm.
everybody, okay? There is enough for everybody in this world. The universe is freaking abundant.
Mhm.
People would chill out, some people
Exactly.
would just chill and B, because no one's going to take things from you. What is yours
Mm-hmm.
is yours, and it's going to be
Exactly.
yours. You can't take my lights. I cannot take your lights, you know? Yeah,
That's right. I think we can only give light to each other. You know what I mean? Like like one candle lights another candle, lights another candle.
exactly.
And that happens with our attitude. So think of the candle being lit as your attitude towards
Mhm.
abundance and your attitude towards money and everything else in your life. Like,
I love it.
start operating from that.
Yeah.
And believe in yourself. Like, believe that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. Like, do these reflections that Eric always talks about. Like, ask yourself, like, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Who do I want to be with? Who do I want to keep
Yeah.
in my life? Whose relationship should I maybe reconsider? Like, ask
Yeah.
these tough questions.
And you are abundant. I mean,
Hmm.
you have everything you need, everything you
Exactly.
can possibly need in this life. You have it in you. So you are
Hmm.
already abundant.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I rest my case, everybody. I wish I had like
I used to have a gavel, like, as a judge. I should look in my closet to see where it went.
yes, I love it. We finished, everybody. Oh boy, what a
Yes,
beautiful conversation. Let us know in the comments, what is it that, what does abundance means to you? What is
exactly.
it? And do you believe that you are abundant? Are you struggling with something? Let us know everything. We would love to hear from you.
Yes. So please email us at Chai With Us Podcast, and like us, share us. We're on YouTube, Spotify, all the other apps as well. We love your comments. We love to be engaged with our audience. So please let us know. When was the last time you were abundant? Like, do you believe that some of the things that we've talked about here, like, how does that work in your life? Can you share a story with us about where you were abundant and you trusted in the universe? Or maybe when you had to let go and really just trust in other people?
Yeah, that's it, everybody.
Thank you
Remember,
so much.
you are abundant.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.